Welcome to Monthly Musings for the month of August with Ray Guan, Paulina Lee, and myself. Aravind is out for the month. He is visiting family up north somewhere, but he will be back with us next month. Some major news for this month. We changed our website domain from onehaas.org to Haas Podcasts with an S.org. So make sure that you go to our brand new spanking website.
August was our lightest month of publishing. We only published 4 episodes.
Hey, we still got more downloads than July.
That
overall.
is good because I think on average we had been publishing about 7 per month.
Mm-hmm. Of course, there's some lag time too with downloads trickling in like a week or two after they're published. But keeping it up, I think some of the class of 23, with the help of one of the people that we brought on board, we're able to spread the news to them and get more downloads. I think feeding off of their excitement on enrolling into the program and, hopefully more to come.
Yeah, to that point, we onboarded Kyle Cook, Nick Gervais, and Dharmik Patel.
Yeah, and they were all people who kind of reached out independently, I believe through Ray, and expressed an interest in kind of helping out with the podcast. And we are flying the plane, we're building it while we fly it, flying it while we build it. I'm not really sure the order of operations there.
Just don't be like Boeing.
Yeah, exactly.
How's school been for you guys?
For me personally, it's been pretty busy. I'm taking the bare minimum, which is 6 core credits. But I was also doing 2 projects outside of school. So one through Haas ID, a little bit of a consulting project design sprint. Then that just wrapped up the first week of school. And then my study group and I are also involved in Haas Hearts, which is a competition that some of the VPs of social impact put on where they paired teams with different NPOs, providing them some help from an MBA perspective. And we're just about wrapping that. We kind of presented our final playbook to the client last week. So between all of that, plus class starting up, continuing on with here at Haas stuff, and then work ramping up, it's been a little crazy on my end. And then I'm going on vacation next week, so.
What about you, Ray?
Yeah.
I'm just realizing that, we don't have Aravind on this call to just like laugh a bunch and fill in, some of this like dead air space. But no, I'm actually taking even below the minimum. I'm only taking operations, and later this semester we'll be taking strategy as well. Things are going well. I've actually spent a good amount of my time outside of class reading up on some papers and some research done by some of the former professors that we've had on. So like Don Moore has a series where he talks about the psychological studies that he's done over the years. I think Shakar has worked with some other professors to publish some webinars on a weekly basis as well, analyzing kind of the economic impact of the pandemic on different factions of society. And I've just found those to be really cool and really helpful, and that's one of the benefits that I've gotten out of hosting here on the podcast and speaking with professors.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. I feel like professors are really interesting to interview because they just do so much outside the classroom, and a lot of them have done a lot of interesting work prior to coming to Haas. So they just have such rich stories to share, and they tell them very well because, 90% of their job is delivering engaging content.
Yeah, Paulina, I think you interviewed Ross Levin earlier this month. How did that go?
It went great. We had a great conversation that'll get pushed out this month in a couple of weeks here. So very excited. It was a very enjoyable conversation.
And on my end, I had a fun AMA this morning, an entrepreneurship AMA with a class of 23. And I think it was just really fun because I got to reflect on all the years of entrepreneurship, building the businesses, the partnerships, all the mistakes that I've made, and then all the things that I've learned along the way that's sustaining me during these dark times. And I don't mean COVID. I mean just launching another business or two. It's challenging. And it's good to reflect on all that you've gone through and realize that, if you've done it once before, twice before, you can do it again.
And I noticed that you started the OHUG podcast. We have the first episode from the Haas undergraduate podcast.
It's a really weird abbreviation to me. I have a really hard time with it.
Well, it's just one Haas undergrads.
Yeah, I understand what it stands for. Just hug. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's like a bear hug, but an hug.
Yeah, there you go.
No, we don't call it that. We just call it one Haas undergrads. But we're actually thinking of pivoting outside of Haas for that. So we're thinking about expanding it to, Berkeley undergrads as a whole. And looking at that option, especially considering that I'm having a conversation with Jay Dillon, our University Department of Alumni Relations head, after Labor Day. So definitely see if we can start something up there.
Do you guys have any exciting plans for Labor Day? It's next weekend. It's crazy. I honestly, I probably say this every month, but where the heck did August go and how is it September already?
Well, okay, so exciting plans. I think I'm going golfing on Sunday. So fingers crossed that the weather is nice.
Where are you golfing?
Tilden Park.
Nice.
It's
Oakland?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty close by from here, actually. So we'll see. Last time we went golfing in Napa, and I almost caught COVID, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time around.
I think I'm going to take up some surf lessons.
Yes.
Because Paulina is going to come down here. I think we're going to go surfing together. I'm also thinking about launching a podcast.
Do tell more.
One of my friends, Pierre, he interviewed me for his podcast. It was just a very open-ended, free-form podcast. It was just the usual Sean Lee stream of consciousness. And I thought, why not have a personal Sean Lee stream of consciousness podcast? And I need a name for it. So I've actually had this podcast brand / name that I set up years ago called Open Minded. And my buddy actually created a really awesome logo for it that I'll show you guys afterwards. It's like an open sign, like a neon open sign, but it says Open Minded with Sean Lee and all neon. Pretty
Very
awesome.
cool.
Is it just going to be you talking then?
No, that podcast originally was to interview different entrepreneurs and startups to get different perspectives, hence the word open-minded. But now, there's a reason why I actually don't like the name, and it's because even though the logo looks awesome, it's because the website openminded.com is like a dating website for swingers, I think.
Does Mink know this?
I think I told her, but either way, it's I was like, I don't know if I want to be associated with that. And so the other name I had in mind was called Postscript. I just like the idea of the after hours, after podcast, Postscript, something outside the realm of what I do day to day in the podcast world.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Like overtime? I'm trying to think of additional names.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Think
or
of
extra innings. I don't know.
All right, all these sports references.
That's what comes to mind.
For a guy who doesn't watch any sports.
Well, I actually watch baseball.
No, I'm talking about me. I don't watch any sports.
I'm gonna have the whole thing be sports references.
But you've heard of them. Obviously, you know.
He's 10th inning.
I'll have to muse on that. I'm heading out with one of my friends on Thursday. We have a camper van rented, and we are taking 10 days, and we're driving out to the Tetons, Yellowstone, Glacier, I think Rainier, and then we'll do a night in Oregon before coming back to the Bay Area. So I'm very excited. I haven't been off the grid since July, which is obviously really far.
Right.
So it'll be good. It'll be interesting. I've been saying this is one of my dearest, closest friends, but we haven't spent this much time together. So we'll either be cool, that worked, or we'll need, 3 months break. But it'll be good practice because I'm also thinking about potentially renting a camper van in order to drive home for Christmas at the end of the year. So this will be a good test of whether or not I can do that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Anyways, we talked about a lot of random things today.
If you want to hear any more of this stuff and keep up to date, sign up for a newsletter at haaspodcast.org. Otherwise, have a great month. Go Bears. Thanks for joining us. Love you guys.